All right, we are live and welcome back to another episode of your favorite nerdy podcast. This is actually the 41st episode of what podcast that is? That is Comic X.
X. Weeb! Ha, ha, ha!
That's right. I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka hashtag send it to James, aka the comic villain. And I got my co-host here with me.
It's your boy Chris, aka Black. Santa, 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 Santa. Yeah, Black Santa, aka. I really like that, aka. AKA. Super cold. We really need to be endorsed by somebody. Water. Yeah. Boy.
Look, as long as the water company that endorses us isn't from Flint, Michigan, we should be good. You know what I mean? Yeah, we should be all right. Yeah, just no lead in the paint. So hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, whether you're catching us live or on the replay. We really appreciate it. And we're going to jump into it. We talk about everything pop culture, but especially comic books, movies, and anime. But usually we kick it off with a little bit of sports. So today, we're definitely kicking it off with some sports because we just had all that craziness go down this weekend with the football playoffs, the NFL playoffs, and holy shit. We were talking backstage, but we were just about to mention the Chiefs game, which was one of the craziest games I have ever seen, hands down, period. Like, it was just from start to finish, the Chiefs versus the Bills was just absolutely nuts and bonkers.
That's one of those games, man, where you say that was the Super Bowl right there. I mean, wow.
Right? Everyone was saying we just need like a best of 7 from those two. Like, forget everybody else, you know.
Man, could they be the next Brady Manning rivalry, man? I mean, I don't know. They could be, man. But at the same time, it is a lot of stacked quarterbacks in the AFC. That conference has so many good quarterbacks, from those two, which we'll talk about in a little while, a lot more, to Lamar Jackson, to Joe Burrow, who needs to get a whole lot of respect for what he's doing in Cincinnati. That is amazing. That franchise has been nothing but straight ass. And this dude has got them to the one playoff game, their first ever road playoff victory. I mean,
and Chase, who has been absolutely incredible playing on that team. And then who's the other receiver that's been like, or is he a tight end maybe that's just been knocking it down too? I can't remember what he's got a strange name, so I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's been pulling it in too. But yeah, Burrow has been making it happen.
Amazing. To Herbert too, up there in I was gonna say San Diego, but they're LA. Up in there in the Chargers. I mean, that is amazing how stacked that freaking conference is. But damn, Alan and Patrick put on an amazing show. Which brings me to a big question for you.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people have been talking about, and I got my take on it. Do you think the overtime rule should be changed?
Man, a lot of people talking about changing the overtime rule. And I don't know, man, because it, like, on one hand, I can see how, like, both sides should just get a try no matter if, one side scores or not. But on the other hand, it's like your defense needs to be just as important as your offense. So defense should have got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, I know it comes down to who like, they're both gassed, right? They should at least have like a halftime length, like, rest to catch your breath, wait a second, and then we're jumping into overtime. But I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't change it. I think that they just whoever wins the coin toss or whatever, like, the other team's defense needs to fucking step up and make a stop and do what they got to do to make sure that, that the offense doesn't score.
That's exactly the situation how I look at it. I look at it the same way in this aspect. Both teams, I mean, offensively, they couldn't be stopped, right? I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, you couldn't stop those two. They was passing it, they was running it. I mean, though, and then what's so funny about it, Honey Badger, who is, Tyrann Mathieu, who is the Chiefs' best cornerback and one of their best overall players, arguably their best defensive player. My man got put down by Josh Allen. That big boy ran that dude over, gave him a concussion. That dude was gone. I mean, that tells you just how big, strong Josh Allen. That dude like 6'5", 230 something. That dude is a big boy, big, strong, but he's fast for his size too. And Patrick Mahomes, not a small guy himself. So those guys was running it. They was passing it. They was doing everything you can imagine. Tyrese Hill, this dude, he is the fastest guy with the ball in the NFL. There's no faster than Cheetah.
That deuces that he threw up to the dude who was ahead of him, bro, that shit cracked me up, bro.
Now, I will say this though, that was actually extremely stupid of him, because when he did that, I was instantly like, no, what is wrong with you? Because that's taunting. And the referee could have threw the flag and negated the touchdown because he did it before he got into the end zone. So by the rules, that is taunting and should have been a flag. Now, of course, the refs didn't do it because they didn't want to, quote unquote, ruin the game. But if they would have did it, that would have been on him. I was like, no, because I thought they was going to throw the flag. I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
The peace sign is taunting?
Situation.
I definitely thought you had to do more than a peace sign.
Nope, that's taunting.
That is taunting. What about
that's taunting, dude? You cannot do that to an opponent right then and there. Matter of fact, even Shannon Sharp, NFL Hall of Fame tight end, was talking about it, and he was like, "I was shocked they didn't throw the flag." And I said, I thought the same thing, because that's instant taunting.
What about like when they do a flip into the end zone?
That right there is not technically taunting, because you're not verbally saying something or intentionally going after another player. Him doing a flip could just be him being excited. So you can't really say, oh, that's taunting, unless he starts flipping all over the place and then starts flipping in front of the other team. Then you'll be like, all right, that dude is taunting right there. But not verbally or doing anything that's technically against another player. Him flipping, you can't say that's against anybody. That's just him having some fun. But when you're actually going after, and what he did, the deuces sign and all that, in such a crucial moment, I was like, dude, what the hell? This is big.
It still got me to laugh.
Touchdown away, the Chiefs lose the game.
True.
But
it still got me to laugh.
At the same time, it was funny. But real quick on the overtime, I want to say this real fast.
Go ahead.
They do not need to change that rule for all the fans. And some people was like, well, and even Andy Reid, who won the game, was saying they should tweak it. Okay, let's get something straight. Andy Reid has been butthurt since the Patriots lost when he was in Philly, and he's been complaining about the overtime rule since then. So what he says should be completely just don't take it with anything. He's biased. He's always been biased. And after the loss, when they lost to the Patriots in overtime in the AFC game, couple of years back, he was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes should have got the ball. We need to tweak this rule. So, no, he's going to keep saying that till the cows go home. Since they tweaked the rule in, I think the 2011 season when Tim Tebow threw that touchdown and sent everybody home in Pittsburgh, it's actually only been 21% of the time since 2011, 21% of the time since the person who got the ball first from the coin flip, has scored and won the game. So it does not have an effect.
Because they have to score a touchdown.
Exactly. They have to end the game off the first one. To end the game, get the thing, score a touchdown, and walk off. It's only been 21% of the time that happened. So that's too small of a number to even think that has an effect. And let's keep this in mind. They had 13 seconds, Dino. 13 seconds to stop the Chiefs. And this is the number one ranked overall defense. They were number one in so many categories, and you can't stop them in 13 seconds. And I know Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, and they got those weapons. But you saw that. You can't tell me those boys didn't look open as hell. I was like, this the number one ranked defense?
So this is where I say don't ever let your girl tell you that 13 seconds ain't long enough again. You know what I mean? Bro, Patrick Mahomes got it done in 13 seconds. Look, I was so furious that the Bills scored with the 13 seconds left or however much time left. 13 seconds. And that I was like, fuck. And I went downstairs and like got a glass of water or whatever. I was like, the game's over, blah, blah. I got a glass of water, got a little snack, went back upstairs, and it was tied. I was like, wait, what the fuck? So I had to like rewind it to see
so
what
you missed, you missed it initially.
I was like, yeah, because I thought it was over, dude. I was like, all right, they're gonna do a Hail Mary pass, whatever. It's not gonna work. Like it never fucking works. And so I just, and then I was like, wait, what? Because they were announcing overtime instead of like the Bills celebrating, and I was just like, oh my god, I need to back up and see what the fuck had just happened. Because
some people are saying they should have squid kicked the ball too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Instead of letting it go out of bounds or whatever.
Now, the ball does not go into play until it's actually touched.
Right.
So, if the Chiefs play it right, all they got to do is instantly jump on the ball when it happened. And now some people's like, well, they'll take off at, if it's done perfectly, they'll at least take off 2 seconds. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? Patrick Mahomes had 2 seconds left after they scored. So, in theory, he still would have won the game. And you would have gave them better field position too. So I'm not going to go at Sean McDermott saying he should have done that because when you got the number 1 ranked defense, I would assume they butts can stop somebody in 13 seconds. So I'm not mad at him. I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong relying on his number 1 ranked defense to stop him in 13 seconds.
It's crazy. And then again, like you said, number 1 ranked defense, so they should have stopped them in overtime. I mean, you don't think the defensive captain should have fired them up and been like, we just need get a 3 and out. That's all we fucking need to do is a 3 and out.
Because this boy is on fire.
Yeah, but nope, they couldn't do it. So no, I really don't think there should be a rule change. No. I think it should stay how it is.
Yep.
And the defense just needs to step it up. The only thing, like I said, I would change is give them a little bit of rest time between the fourth quarter and overtime start. But I don't know if it's because TV time or whatever.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Like they can keep going, obviously, like until the game necessarily ends. But even sometime you'll see on certain channels, even if the game is going so long, they'll flip to another thing. But either way, they can't they're gonna have to get an agreement to extend it to a certain way. And that's one of the things about if you change the overtime rule, you got to also remember they could probably get the extensions. That's probably not much of a problem, but this is my big thing. No one has a legit idea what to change it to that makes any sense. That nonsense the Raven was talking about a couple of years back, I'm still confused at it. They was basically saying you have the flip and the team that wins the flip or whatever gets to choose where the other team placed the ball. It was so weird. And then it was the team that I know. It's one of those. Look at that thing up later on. It is so confusing and weird. I wasn't shocked that they laughed those boys out the building. Was like, yeah, just go back to Baltimore. We'll figure this out.
Right.
It's just one of the weirdest things. Plus, some people's like, well, let's do the college rule. Okay, first off, I love college football. You know that. I love it. But at the same time, the college overtime is a children's Bush League gimmicky situation. That does not work in grown man football. It doesn't.
Right.
So you can't use that Bush League crap in the actual NFL. You can't do that.
And you could still argue it still relies on the defense to make a stop.
Absolutely, because you put them at the 25 and then you got to eventually stop them. And plus, again, these are the big boys. These ain't like the kids who maybe 2 or 3 players on that team might get to the NFL.
Yeah.
These are all the guys who made it. These are elite, and you're risking injury, a huge injury situation. And they're like, well, both teams should get the ball. Well, then you put if you do that, where both offenses at least get a chance, you actually give the team who gets the ball second a huge advantage because now basically the first team is on third down, probably punt. The second team that gets the ball now becomes 4 down territory. And depending on how clock management is, they automatically get a chance. If you run most of the clock out, they can run the rest of the clock out and just kick a field goal. So you got to be careful. Like that rule doesn't work neither. There's no legit way that you can really do it right now that anybody has brought up that makes any sense. So leave it as it is. There's not a problem.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, but overall, just a crazy weekend. Now let's do some predictions so we can say you heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
So first of all, it's gonna be Chiefs and San Fran, right?
Ooh, the Chiefs and San Fran's.
Right. That's the next game, and then it's gonna be LA versus
the Chiefs are in the NFC, so it won't be them. It's gonna be the Chiefs against the Bucks.
I'm sorry.
Bucks. I'm sorry, not Bucks. The Chiefs against. I was thinking Joe Burrow and the Bucks mixed together. The Chiefs against the Bengals. And it's gonna be San Fran against LA.
Okay, so Chiefs, Bengals, San Fran, LA. Okay, so LA wins. LA wins theirs, and Chiefs win theirs. I love the Bengals and what they've been doing. But I think that Patrick Mahomes can definitely outscore the Bengals. I think they can, unless they really show up with it, and it would have to be like really showing up with it. But it's going to be at Kansas City, right? It's going to be tough.
It is going to be at Kansas City, yes.
Yeah, it would be tough to take them. So I think it's going to be Kansas City, and then I think LA is going to beat San Fran. And then did you see that they're doing this big thing to like try to keep San Fran fans out of the LA stadium?
They are? What?
Yeah. So apparently they're saying that you cannot resell your tickets. They're like shutting down the apps and stuff. So if you're like a PSL owner or whatever, like the season ticket holders, anyone who already had tickets and stuff, they're doing the best that they can to make sure that you cannot flip that shit, so that you can't let in San Fran fans like that, because
crazy.
I don't know. I think they tried to do it in another game. It wasn't LA that tried to do it, but another team tried to do it at a game, and it didn't really work out that well for them. But LA is attempting to do it so that there's not a sea of red in there, because I mean they're both in California. Obviously, it's like a 3 hour 3 hour drive or something, 4 hour drive.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, who knows?
That is interesting.
I think LA will win, though. LA is a great team. I think LA is going to win it all.
So you pick the Rams to beat the Chiefs too?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, I love that, because most people will pick the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, I love Mahomes. I love the Chiefs.
I know
I'm just being real with it.
I'm a little shocked that you picked them.
I'm just being real with it. I think LA will take it, and I think they're just a better overall comprehensive team. They're smarter, I think, more experienced. I think they'll take it.
And see,
I could be wrong.
That's good. No, that's a good pick. I like that. I like that fire, because I like Patrick Mahomes a lot too, man. I think he's the. I mean, we all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers, but that's for another day. Right now, me and Dino talked about that a little off air too. But Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback right now, right? And the thing is, though, I'm not going to front. I want Joe Burrow to win, because it's just because of Cincinnati has been utter garbage its entire existence. Let's call it what it is.
It's
They've been nothing.
Right.
And now this dude has become the first quarterback to be the first overall pick, and in his second year, he's already in the AFC Championship game. And don't forget, last year, he was balling until he had a serious broken leg injury. He was balling as a rookie. And then he had a serious injury, and he's came back, and his toughness should not be questioned, because I thought the damn Bengals was trying to get him killed out there, because that dude got sacked like 9 times. I was like, dude, bro, what are they doing? Where's your O-line? What happened? Where are these boys? So that's what concerns me, because I want so bad to pick the Bengals against the Chiefs. I want to so bad to pick them. I want to. But before I pick, I do say I agree with you. I think the Rams should beat the 49ers, mainly because Jimmy Pornstar G is, He ain't
sorry.
very good.
Wait, hold on, back up. Where did he get this nickname? I ain't heard this one before. Jimmy
when you
Porn
hear
Star
Jimmy G, you
Jimmy
hear
G.
Jimmy G. That sounds like a porn star name, bro. Jimmy J. Jimmy G is starring in this film
too?
tonight.
He's got the stash going on as well.
He got the stash and everything, right? He had that before. So I'm calling him Jimmy Porn Star G. They kind of been winning despite him. He made 2 good throws in the game, in the last game. But outside of that, man, he has not been very good. So I do think the Rams are better. Matthew Stafford is on a revenge tour basically to prove that it was the Detroit Lions, one of the worst organizations. It was their bums, that reason why he had no success, and now he's having success. And he has to keep it going now. He needs to keep going. So I think he's going to keep that going. And no one can stop Cooper Kupp. No one can stop Cooper. I don't know how this dude just can't be guarded, it seems. Like, I don't get it. Because he's not even the fastest.
No.
But he's good at route running.
Very good. And he, improvises a lot, too, on the routes.
He does.
Which is insane.
That 49ers defense is good, but I do believe the Rams offense is better. And the Rams defense is solid, too. They got some killers on D. So I do think the LA Rams beat the San Francisco 49ers. But when it comes to the Bengals and the Chiefs, I want to pick the Bengals, Dina. I want to so bad.
Okay.
But I gotta, Dina, what should I do? I feel like I gotta keep it real because the Chiefs should win this game. The Chiefs should win this game. They're the better overall team. The Bengals did whoop their butts in the regular season now. Let's not forget that. But it's so hard. I gotta.
Bengals pulled off some surprising wins in the regular season. Let's be real.
They have.
So it could happen. It could happen. It could happen.
You know what?
Do it.
I'm gonna go against it. I'm gonna say Bengals are gonna beat the Chiefs. That's right. You heard it here. The Bengals will beat the Chiefs, and it will be the Bengals against the LA Rams in the damn Super Bowl.
See, I mean, it would any of these scenarios, as long as San Fran doesn't get in, is going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun Super Bowl. San Fran has gotten very lucky up to this point. Let's be real. San Fran has definitely gotten lucky. They're a decent team, but they ain't no Super Bowl team. So if they make it to the Super Bowl, I feel like it's just going to be a blowout, and it's not going to be that fun. And so I really think, if they somehow make it past LA, because I really don't think they're going to do that.
I don't either. I would be shocked, but more than likely it'll be a Chiefs versus the LA Rams, and that's going to be an interesting one. But if the Bengals get in, which I'm hoping they do, man, it's like you said, it's interesting. Every team outside of San Fran, it's just interesting. So it's gonna, it's gonna be fun, man.
For sure, it's gonna be a good time. Let's talk about some staff changes that is going on in the NFL too. So, what's his name from the Saints? Sean Payton has decided to leave the Saints organization. Apparently, he is being pursued by Fox Sports to replace Troy Aikman as an announcer.
Ooh, interesting.
This is just the word on the street. I don't know what kind of truth there is to that. I didn't even know he was interested in leaving coaching altogether. I thought he was just, done with the Saints. Or maybe just, looking to retire or something. But apparently,
Fox Saints still have his rights. So he can't just go to another team. He would have to be traded. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep. Okay. That's just like if an NFL player retired. Like when Calvin Johnson retired, he wanted to retire and go. Like there was a lot of talk. Oh, he's going to retire and go to the Patriots to go with team with Brady or whatever. But a lot of people found out very shortly afterwards. I already knew, but a lot of people found out shortly afterwards. Yeah, you can't do that. They keep your rights until your contract's up.
Right.
So he still has those rights to still with the Saints. So if he wants to go to another team, they would have to trade him basically.
Okay. But he could still do. Could he do the announcing thing without?
He could 100% do anything outside of going to another coaching staff.
Gotcha. Okay. And then another thing I thought was notable was the Bears hiring a new general manager. And his name is Ryan Poles. And might be one of the. Is there another black general manager in the NFL?
I think there is. I'm trying to remember the team, but I feel like there is. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say he's gonna be among the few. Because we
very
were just
few.
having that
I
conversation.
Think there's only one other. So yeah, a very few.
We were having that conversation last week, I think, or the week before. But
Mike
so I thought that
the
was
only black coach. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that I thought
Yep.
was for sure something worth talking about, because that's pretty
I
awesome.
agree.
Even if
I
it's
think that's
if it's the Bears,
very good.
even
if it is the Bears,
yeah, it's
even
still
if
pretty
it's
awesome.
the Bears. It is, I think it's 100% awesome, man, because it really disturbs me, man, to a huge level, that the NFL is one of the worst places when it comes to minority head coaches or minorities truly getting a chance unless you're a player. And even then, if you're a quarterback, they look down at you in certain aspects. But it's just disgusting, man, because it's no reason why a sport like the NFL has to have a rule, the Rooney Rule, where a black coach has to be at least interviewed. That's disgusting that rule is there. That rule has to be there. Makes me sick to my stomach. So I really they need to get this crap together. They really need to get this together, because this is just it's a terrible look. It's terrible look, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You got a guy over there talking about biting ankles and crap, but
and he did
black
so
coaches
much.
Can't even get an interview at all. Like, stop it. Stop.
Yeah. It is pretty sad, and I actually opened that conversation up in a group chat that I'm in as well, and we were just kind of talking about it, about just like certain names, and I can't remember the names at this point, but just certain names that should definitely be talked about that should make it into NFL coaching positions. And it's just like you said, it is definitely a shame that it hasn't happened and it's not happening, and that we have this rule that you have to interview a black candidate, and it's like you shouldn't have to do it. You should want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't know. It definitely needs to be changed. They have it on all the back of their goddamn helmets, but that's just words. They need to actually live it. So they need to live it and not just paint words on a field or print words on the back of a helmet. That's what I think.
Preach on, brother. Testify.
Oh goodness. And then for our last bit of NFL news, just to add some ridiculousness, Antonio Brown has decided he wants to play for the Ravens, and the Ravens are like, we haven't said anything about this. I don't know why all of a sudden he wants to do this, but apparently Antonio Brown is signing with the Ravens, according to Antonio Brown.
Oh my God. This guy is something else, man. Like, he's something else. And hey, you know what? He says that it is not anything to do with mental health. You know what? I've always said I don't think it is either. I think he's just an asshole. But you know what, man? I don't get this dude at all, man. You go from a Super Bowl contending team, and if he was there, he definitely would have helped, and they could have went to the Super Bowl again. To go to the Ravens, who missed the playoffs, and a quarterback who is not that good of a thrower yet compared to Brady, and you saying you want to go play with him, and I'm pretty sure that team has no interest in you at all. Because when you was a free agent, they didn't sign your butt then. It took Brady to redeem you. So,
did you see what he posted on his Instagram when the Buccaneers lost?
Did you see what he posted before that?
No, I didn't see what he posted.
He posted before that, because I saw it. He posted, good luck to my brother, Tom Brady, and blah, 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 blah. Good luck, brother, blah, blah, blah. I love you, this and that. As soon as they got eliminated, what you're talking about, he posted himself doing his little jumping jacks or waving with a side, Photoshop side, Bucks eliminated. I'm like, dude, what the hell, man? What's wrong with you?
I thought it was fake when I saw it at first, and I was like, no, someone just did that shit, because that is too funny. And then, like, I went and looked, and this motherfucker really did that shit.
I thought it was too. I thought it was somebody else who just did it, and they're blaming Antonio for that, because I was like, nah, dude, he just talked about giving Brady props. And then, like, soon as I was thinking that, I was like, wait a minute, this is something he would do. And I looked into it and was like, damn it, he did do it, man. God knows.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus.
So funny. Oh my gosh, that was just my entertainment for sure. It was a very entertaining weekend all around.
It was extremely, outside of my work life. Yeah, it was a very entertaining weekend.
Oh my goodness. All right. We can move into some comic book or something, some other kind of news here now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of free ball here, but this weekend I was able to finally give my mom the present of the Tom Hiddleston signed Vote Loki 1 book. So I was very happy about that. She was so excited. I filmed her reaction and everything and like put it on Instagram because I thought it was so funny because she was just freaking out opening the thing. But she was super, super excited and it made me laugh and happy. And so I was glad to finally be able to give her that gift because that is something I've been working on for almost 8 months.
Wow.
I've been waiting for that shit for like 8 months. So finally able to give her that gift. I was very happy. Very worth it after all that time. Oh my goodness.
You had a weekend of reactions, brother.
Yeah. I know. My dad reacting to Tom Brady's loss.
To the Loki stuff with your mom. Damn.
Yep. That's right. That's right. This weekend I'm going to Atlanta with Wayne.
ACL.
That's right, with my buddy Wayne, aka Smashers Comics, and we're just going to shop. We're just doing some shopping.
Bro, you need to go to that strip club that Lemon Pepper Lou be going to.
The what?
So real quick. So Lou Williams, who formerly played for the LA Clippers, the year they went to the bubble, the year my Lakers won the championship. Just gotta throw that out there.
Okay.
That year he got in a lot of trouble because obviously they was in the bubble for vaccination reasons, and the COVID situation was really popping off. I mean, it's popping off now, but you get what I'm saying. What happened was he said he needed to go. You know, it's always bad when they see what had happened. He said he needed to go to a funeral. So it was like, okay, we'll let you go. This is important to you, so we'll let you go for that. But you got to get your butt right back here. Well, his butt got caught going to a strip club to get some wings, and he was like, well,
"Wait a minute,
go to get wings."
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You're gonna trust wings from the strip club? That's like trusting sushi.
Now I've heard other people in Atlanta personally tell me that those wings are amazing.
What?
I'll just let you know.
How is a strip club known more for wings than for the strippers? That's question number one.
They know more for it. I'm just saying. I'm hearing. Maybe they might be. I'm hearing those wings are to die for.
You didn't hear the strippers were to die for. You heard the wings were to die for. Okay, so I'm saying, how is this strip club known more for the wings than for the strippers? First of all, second of all, how am I gonna trust food of any kind going into my mouth from a strip club? I don't care. I don't care. You know, these are not the most reputable chefs in the world that are working for girls triple X in neon lights. Yeah, that's not where the guy coming out of culinary school is going to for the first with his resume saying, "Hey, let me get a job." No, that's where the prison chef goes.
So you're not going to see Mr. Ramsey in the strip club.
Exactly. That's where the guy who worked in the prison kitchens for 10 years, he goes there, maybe not so classically trained as some of these other chefs. So that's all I'm saying. So it's probably not going to be the greatest of food. It's something I could, and the hygiene is always in question.
I would say, there's some juices that be coming down. Anyway, look, this what made it so stupid to me. The first thing that came to my mind is, you are a NBA player that has, you make a lot of money. He makes a lot of money. And you telling me you couldn't hire somebody to go get the wings for you?
Right.
There's no chance in hell I'm going to risk getting in trouble, because he got in trouble. And he ended up, because he did it, he had to go into the vaccination protocol, which hurt his team even more. So he had to miss games. There's no way I'm going to risk getting in trouble like that. I'm going to be like, yo, my man, go get some wings for me.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for me to go there. and be
You
that
don't even have to
stupid.
pay me extra.
Who
It might take.
cares?
I
I'm
know.
sending my goons out.
No,
You
no.
telling
I'm
me you
saying,
don't got one friend that can go get the damn wings that's not gonna ask for money?
right.
Because if you don't got no friends.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to pay me extra. I'll go. It might take an extra 5 or 10 minutes to get the wings back to you, but I'm going.
Look, bro, I'm expecting those wings to come back to me within an hour or so because you're going to be there having your own fun. Long as you make sure you get the wings last so they ain't that damn cold when they get to me. Save that stuff after you get to what you have to get, and then you bring my wings to me afterwards so they're not that cold. I don't care what you do. I'm going to have somebody else get them, though.
I got an extra cup of ranch sauce for you. I don't know where this came. I don't know where this came from, but it was in the bag when I picked up the wings.
you lick it first. What?
Oh shit!
Yeah, this usually happens at the end of the screen.
All right, so what's the name of this? I was curious, since I'm going to Atlanta, what's the name of this establishment?
Well, I'll make sure I get you that off camera and everything, get you hooked up. So y'all make sure
Oh shit, that is too funny. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I'll be in Atlanta, apparently the home of the best hot wings in the strip club game.
Oh yeah. Calling him Lemon Pepper Lou. That's why I call him Lemon Pepper Lou now. I don't even call him Lou Williams anymore. It's just Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou. Mm-hmm. Is that the type of wings that he got? You got the lemon pepper one?
That's one of his favorite wings, that Lemon Pepper Lou.
Ah, shit, that is so fucking funny. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're going to a show. I always find good stuff in Georgia, I tell you this. But I'm excited because it'll be a good time. I haven't gone to Georgia in a while.
Right.
And I know a couple of vendors that are going to be there. It's like their first time in a couple months setting up, so it should be a good time as far as that goes. So yeah, it should be a good time all around. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Atlanta's not the most fun drive in the world, but we'll make it happen. And hey, if I don't find anything, I don't find anything. It'll still be a good time, I think, to just kind of go chill and relax and hit the town for a Saturday evening, if nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is gonna be really fun though. That should be lit. That should be a good time. That should be a good time. But I want to ask you this, Dino. I want to ask you this on the a little bit on the MCU a little bit. Unless you had something else to say about the trip.
Go ahead. No.
All right. So I want to know, where do you think the MCU's basically their true end game for this chapter of the MCU is? Do you think it is like eventually going to be a big thing to introduce Galactus? Do you think Kang is really going to be the big bad overall? Or do you think somebody else is going to be? Do you think Doom is going to be it?
I think Doom is the big bad for this chapter. If we're going to do 3 phases just like we did the first 3 phases, I think Doom equals Thanos, right? I think Doom is going to be the equivalent of Thanos. And I think that Kang is going to be the equivalent of Loki. I think that he's going to start off bad. He's going to remain like, a shifty character throughout the thing. But I think he ends up, I mean, we've seen the multiple iterations of Kang in the comics. There is a version of him that is, not bad. That is good. So I think that Kang equals our Loki for this phase, and then and Doom is going to be our big bad for this phase. And then I do think that is going to lead into things such as Secret Wars, Galactus, Fantastic Four obviously is going to be at some point. So we're gonna have the Fantastic Four. I think X-Men is gonna come in, and we're gonna have to deal with Magneto and Sentinels and everything like that as well. But yeah, I think that's what we got. I mean, obviously we're gonna have other one movie villains here and there popping up, I think, but I think those 2 are gonna be our main central.
I'm hoping, now this is end game for sure, but what I'm hoping is, what we got?
What's that? He says, "What did you, Pikachu? I'm here. What did I miss?" We were just talking about sports for the most part, and I'm going to Atlanta this weekend, and now we're jumping kind of into some MCU talk.
Oh, you did miss some good stuff about some script clubs and some juices and some lemon pepper loos, but nah. So here's something that I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping that when the X-Men get introduced, they redo and actually do it right. They rethink and do the Civil War right. They go into the actual registration and all that stuff. You can't tell me that wouldn't be a cool 2-part movie.
Oh, for sure. Like you
can really make that solid, because you can have like a real big, moment for like someone like Nitro, where he actually detonates and kill all those people in Washington. And it sets up for like, of course, you have to have Tony back at this point. And honestly, I would love it if Robert Downey Jr. was playing this role. I think he would kill it in a situation. I mean, he's already done great, but you know what I mean? I think he would do so well with this kind of situation for him to be Iron Man in. It would be so good. And then to have him and Cap have their issues on it. Like, it would be great to see that with the MCU style of how they do movies. That would be awesome to see. I want to, and then you could tweak it a little bit, of course, the matchup to the heroes they got here. Because imagine, like, it could make it even more interesting if you have Spider-Man there, and obviously if you still have old boy, where he's sitting there like, do I really want to rejoin a situation where I have to tell people who I am? Look at what happened last time I did that.
Right.
So you can make it so interesting to adapt to how the MCU have done things.
Oh, for sure. We have, do you think they will introduce the Beyonder in a Secret Wars arc, or they elevate Galactus to the Beyonder position? Beyonder for me is like, I have some of like the first appearance of Beyonder, like a couple of, Secret Wars 1, as well as Secret Wars Volume 2, number 3, where his first full appearance. I expect that to be the longest term speculation of all time, like 10 years. So there could be like, we get some version of the Beyonder. I don't think it'll be comic accurate Beyonder, but if they keep continuing into this celestial and space direction that they seem to be heading, I don't rule out Beyonder at all.
Obviously, he's not going to be as OP as he was in the comics.
Oh no, but, he is ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, like, what do you think about that? If they was to like really get into the Civil War, like with the X-Men, it could be so good.
Civil War would be really dope if they're gonna do a Civil War, like a Civil War 2 or something like that. As part of the 6th phase or whatever they want to do. I think that would be really cool. Obviously it would be super dope just to see like some of like really how to do it. Obviously, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, especially not like 10 years from now. He's not coming back. So do we get Riri to do it if they're going to build up?
Though? You think they would have to wait 10 years to do something like that?
Yeah, dude. I think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, look how long it took from 2008 or so, 2007 until Civil War came out. And
that's a fair enough point. That's fair. Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it does take some time to make these movies and to build this arc. I don't want them rushing any storylines or anything either.
That's true. We don't want it to be like what happened with DC, right?
Right, exactly. And what is continuing to happen with now they're saying the Flash is just going to erase everything that has happened and build a new universe.
Which is making a lot of people angry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, like, honestly, I'm just going to call it what it is. Most of the fans, not even like split, most of the fan base loves the Zack Snyder stuff, and they're hating what, DC has done. The DCU has done and all this stuff, and they do not like this. Like, this Flash movie is already set up to fail completely.
I think so. Did you see the speaking of, just while we're on DC real quick, the Batman movie got a runtime of almost 3 hours, and then they made some
fuck?
Dude, I'm down for it. 3-hour Batman movie. I'm here for a 3-hour Batman. I'm here for a 3-hour Batman movie. If I had to sit through 3 hours of Justice League, I'm gonna sit through 3 hours of Batman. At least, hopefully, it's more entertaining. I can tell you that. But they were saying they were making jokes that they're gonna bring someone in to cut it down to an hour and a half.
I'm not gonna front. They probably will,
just so that they can release the extended cut.
Oh my god, 3 hours. That's kind of long, though. Man.
It's a little less, but it is close to 3.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. What was the Avengers? It was like 2 hour 20, so it's like 20 minutes longer than
the Avengers movie. The Avengers was also dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, this is Batman. Like, how many villains are you already throwing at this dude?
Penguin, Riddler, and was there another one? I know Catwoman's going to be in there. I don't know if she's a villain or not.
Catwoman plays her role, I suppose.
Yeah, her. Oh, I'm a villain. Oh, I'm not a villain. Oh, I'm a villain. Yeah, we get it, bitch.
I'm not a villain.
You're, like,
just
you're a typical woman. Like, shut the fuck up. We get it. You're on my side. Whoa. You're not on my side. You're on my side again. All right, shut the fuck up.
All right. All right.
But yeah, so it got that was released. I'm here for it, man. I think it's gonna be good. I'm really hoping it's gonna be good at least. So I guess we'll just have to see. As long as like
I think it's gonna be good too.
Yeah.
Again, or at least, yeah, I'm hoping it's good too. But I do think it's gonna be a good movie. I don't think this movie's gonna be really bad. I know the Flash movie's gonna fucking suck, but I don't think this movie's gonna be bad at all. I think this movie's gonna be. It's gonna be pretty good, but 3 hours is still kind of like, oh my god, like what are we?
Dark Knights was 2.5.
I know. I mean, that's true. That's true, but still.
And that was just the Joker.
First off,
I mean, I'm saying just the Joker. Hold on. Let me hold on. I say just the Joker. I'm saying like it was only one villain. Like they weren't throwing the whole book at Batman or anything. Like they have in pretty much every other Batman movie that has existed. So, I mean, 2.5. I think that they could make it entertaining. I don't think it has to be too much of a lull. They're not really doing his whole origin again, which is good. We don't have to sit through Martha and what's his face die again. So,
bro, what are you talking about? That's the main thing, dude. Didn't you see Batman v Superman? Martha. How do you know that name? I'm not for sure. Because I will say, remember, even the first Batman movie, what we're talking about in the trilogy, that was mainly just dealing with
Raj.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's gonna be some. I don't know. I still don't know about 3 hours. Honestly, 3 hours is still kind of long for me to be in a freaking theater. Right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's my biggest.
Do you think that they'll release it on HBO? I mean, it is a Warner Brothers.
I don't know. If it not. See, that's the thing. If it's on HBO, that's different for me. I'm fine with it. But if it's not and it is in theaters first, that's gonna suck for me a little bit. I don't want to be in the theaters for 3 hours.
Yeah, I need a bathroom break for 3 hours.
Right.
I'm gonna be bringing a piss bottle for 3 hours. I'll tell you that right now.
Knowing your luck, you have a kid sitting right next to you.
I'll be like, look away, little man.
His mom is like, I'm calling the cops.
Is it public urination if you're in an enclosed space, though?
Yeah. Yep.
Hold on. Is it public urination if you piss your pants?
Wow.
Ooh.
All
right. Okay. Guess who's bringing the depends?
Some wet, pissy draws.
Guess who's bringing the depends, bro? I'm bringing them adult diapers. Is it public urination if you pissed in the diaper and then pull like the Deadpool, like ripping out the underwear? Hold on. He says no. I got one vote for no. Hell yeah. Because it's under the clothes. That's right. God damn it. That's what I'm saying. If it's public urination to piss in your pants, I'm arresting every 2-year-old that I see in that theater.
I'm pretty sure they can't be. I'm pretty sure they fall under the guideline of when the
this doesn't seem fair. This doesn't seem fair.
That's just like when my boy Huey was talking to Tom in Boondocks, and he was like, "Yo, so when I was a kid." And even though he's a kid anyway, but he was like, when I was younger and I used to pee in the bed and I used to pee on Raleigh, is that me peeing on him like R. Kelly did that little girl? I'm pretty sure, like Tom said, that don't.
There we go. I got someone on my side here. He says no. It's like pulling out your wallet. You're just reaching into your pants and pulling something out. It's like pulling out diapers.
It is not like pulling out your wallet. All right, let's not encourage this bad behavior. That is not like pulling out your wallet at all.
Oh shoot! Either way, I'm saying I doubt it'll go HBO first because Batman's gonna be the cash cow just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so they're gonna want to put that in.
They're gonna want it as a theater release. Yeah, so yes. I think it'll just be theater release. But hey, 3 hours. I'm down with it. I'm down with a 3-hour Batman movie. I'm not down with sitting in a theater for 3 hours. It'll have to be like it's like a wet, smelly wallet. Oh shit. But anyways, back to where we think the future of the MCU is going.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree with you. I think that a Civil War Part 2 with mutants would be awesome. I don't know if they'll do it in this like set of phases or if they'd wait until like a next set of phases.
I mean, the key thing is we have to get a new Iron Man.
It's gonna be Riri. She's gonna be coming out in Black Panther.
Okay, all right. I'm getting sick of this garbage with
I'm
this
just saying that's what they plan. That's what they're planning.
Okay, you telling me? You telling me that you want her?
I didn't say I wanted it.
Of the registration.
I didn't say that's what I wanted. I'm just saying that's like they're probably going to change like who's going to be the face and everything. You know what I mean? I mean, we still don't know what's going on with this whole Black Panther movie to begin with. They just hit another delay because of COVID outbreak right when they were getting back started in refilming. We've heard a few rumors, right? We've heard a couple of rumors that T'Challa is going to be basically killed off screen in like like an explanation type thing, like he died doing something. Then
some terrible food and got food poison and killed him.
Right. Just terrible mushrooms. He had a bad trip. He fell off a cliff. Something happened like that. I don't know. Then they're gonna have some kind of a tournament apparently to decide the new Black Panther, who is going to be Shuri.
It's funny because
that's just gonna be how it's gonna go down.
When you said that, what really got me going, I was thinking to him, that's how they're going to introduce Killmonger back. They're going to show like a scene of my man really doped up, and he was walking and he thought he saw Killmonger. He was like, my man, you're alive. He was going to give him a hug, but he was actually messed up on the drugs, and he walked right off a cliff.
What? That would be awesome. Rob says that word online is that Tom Cruise has been cast as a Tony Stark from a different universe. Allegedly that he is going to show up in Multiverse of Madness. Tom Cruise, Tony Stark. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm sure we don't have to worry about him playing that role either.
I don't see that as a long.
I don't want to see a Tom Cruise face of registration, but
he's just as old as Robert Downey Jr.
That's what I'm saying. That's the first thing I said, that we don't have to worry about him playing that role neither. All right. So back to this Riri garbage. I mean, this is the same.
Well, hold on. Well, let's just keep talking Black Panther now. So Shuri's gonna win this tournament. So I guess she's gonna go up against M'Baku, and they are technically, or there has been rumors of them bringing back Killmonger. So she beats them both in hand-to-hand combat.
Killmonger could be nothing but a memory though. He don't actually have to be back.
Okay, so she beats M'Baku.
Probably.
What? How? In hand-to-hand with no enhancement?
I've already said that this girl has shown no real hand-to-hand combat up until this point, and then all of a sudden she's going to be a martial arts master. I've already said there's a plot hole there, but I mean, sure, she's going to whoop everybody's ass.
She's just going to take the flower.
She's going to be smarter.
She's just going to take the flower without telling anybody, and then she's just going to be the Black Panther.
She's going to outthink everybody. She's going to be like, you guys are stupid. And I'm just going to outthink every single one of you.
You put technology in the hands of a child, to quote Black Panther 1. I went back and watched that the other day. It was so good. So we get Shuri, right? Woohoo. And then there's going to be like a war between Atlantis and Wakanda. But like, I think it's going to be like a kind of war, not like a real war. And Namor apparently is going to get just as much time in Black Panther 2 as Black Panther got in Civil War. So a decent amount of screen time, and probably gonna same kind of concept. They're gonna start out fighting, and then at the end of it, they're gonna be like, we need to work together. Except Namor's kind of a dick, so I don't know if he's gonna actually agree to the whole working together thing, but
I mean, if it benefits him, he will. And since this will probably be a threat that he's going to be reluctant for most of it, but it's going to get to a point where he has to work with him, or he's working with him just to get by. But he's gonna work with
him. After the snap, she's been training. Yeah, okay, she can be training. I'm just saying that a girl does not have the same amount of strength as any man, or really, but M'Baku especially, who has also been training his entire life.
Let's also
that dude is shredded.
That training aspect still doesn't necessarily make that much sense, because again, did he just stop training? Did everybody else stop training? They all could have still been training up until this point.
M'Baku's
for her just training against somebody who's been training his entire life, and she's still like a teenager, I guess, or early 20s or whatever she is. That still logically doesn't make any sense unless you're going down a straight road of she's a prodigy in everything. She's a prodigy in brains and in combat capability, which again doesn't make sense.
She can beat him with speed, like the drug speed. Like she hits some methamphetamine and then beats M'Baku. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do it. Apparently,
I can see her again outsmarting all her opponents.
Yeah, for sure. Or like with technology, 100%. She's one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe at this point. She is the smartest person in the Marvel universe. Banner might rival it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if she's the smartest person. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna say she's 100% smarter than Banner.
In the as far as the MCU goes, Banner, I mean, Banner contributed to Ultron, but what has Banner, like, where has Banner shown his smarts in the MCU? Outside of him working alongside Tony. And even then, Tony was outsmarted Banner. So it's, I don't know, because Shuri seems to have built this whole whatever by herself in the Black Panther movie. Right? So I would say at this point, just from what we see in the MCU.
What overall has she done by herself too, though?
Reed Richards isn't in here yet, Ian. So we don't.
Yeah, we're not counting him yet. She's actually done by herself that actually goes into the MCU overall, not just in Black Panther. By herself.
What has she done by herself? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right. Besides the technology stuff that she built. Because they said that they left all the technology in the hands of a child. So that makes me assume that she's basically in charge of all the weapons, and like she creates all that shit by herself.
I don't think she was
doing the whole surgery thing on Vision by herself.
I don't think she creates. I don't think she does. I really don't.
I don't know. It's just how they portrayed it, at least.
Maybe.
Yeah. I know you're not. We're both in agreement that we're not on board with her being like the Black Panther, right? But it just seems to be what they're building. I'm just going based off what we have seen in the movies.
Of course, they're gonna build for. I've said that literally before. I said that before. Me and you talked about it all the way back then. I called her being Black Panther from the get-go.
Right.
So I already knew this was going to happen. This is no shock to me. I mean, I knew this was the most logical thing they was going to do from the beginning. Before Black Panther even first came out, when they announced it, me and you was talking about, and I was like, dude, he's going to end up being Black Panther eventually. Right. It's the most logical thing to do. So I get that. It's just, I don't know.
I think was joking here saying Kang, but Kang might actually be a candidate. At least the Kang that we saw at the end of Loki.
I mean, logically speaking, considering all the different lives that he's lived, it would be hard to believe that one of them isn't smarter than Sherry and Banner.
Yes.
I'd say even Tony.
Yeah. The one that, He Who Remains at the end, that version of Kang, for sure. Of course he's smarter. Like, he has seen it all. He knows it all. He's from the future, so he had all that future technology anyway. So, actually, Kang might be the smartest person in the MCU at this point.
Maybe.
Except that version died, so we're going back to past versions of Kang. But still, I don't know. We'll have to see. Rob says that she will be the Black Panther, but by the end of the movie, she will give the title to M'Baku to unite the kingdoms after they win the war against Atlantis. That would be dope. That's actually.
I highly doubt they would do that. I would be beyond shocked if they did that. I don't think it's going to happen at all. I would be beyond shocked. I'm gonna remember this moment though, so if it does happen, I get props. But I really don't see that happening, dude. I don't see
her giving up the mantle.
If they give her I don't see them giving it to her for her to lose it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that would be pointless. Because honestly, if you're gonna just do that, I would. Because remember, it's not just your Black Panther. You have to actually go through a ritual too. So you're gonna give it to her, and then she's gonna give it to somebody else. So she's gonna have them go through it. Like that. Just to me, one, that waters down what it means to be a Black Panther. If you're gonna do two, just give it away instantly at the end of the movie to somebody else.
Right.
Like it gotta have importance. So she has to carry that role for a period of time before she gives it to somebody else. Him getting it later on, or whoever she gives it to later on, that could be fine. But that do it in one movie, I think they've cheapened what Black Panther means and stands for, and I would be against that. And I don't see them doing that. It just doesn't make sense to me. But again, I will remember that. So if it does happen, tons of props because you called that. Because I didn't see that coming.
What about the Madam Slay resurrection of Killmonger? Ian says. Well, Chris says that Killmonger could come back as a flashback.
He could. He could very well be a flashback. He could be. I mean, he could come back as a back again.
But what would we see from him? Would he then be like on Wakanda's side? Is he still going to be like a villain? Like, what would we? I mean, if he were to come back, like not just a flashback, he's gonna still want the mantle. He's gonna still want the throne.
I would assume so.
Like, yeah, I don't think his ideals are magically gonna change just because he died. Like, he's gonna come back and be like, "Wait, T'Challa ain't here no more." Well, I'm still running this thing. Like, going back and rewatching that movie, it was. I loved how he carried himself. I felt like he was like one of the truest villains, but not villains at the same time, like throughout that movie. Just like because his ideals and his mindset, like he thought he was so correct in what he was doing and bringing and sharing this technology to the world and uplifting, Black people throughout the world is what his goal was. The way he did it, obviously.
Yeah, I never consider him a flat out villain. I don't consider him a flat out villain. I don't consider him a villain.
Him honestly. Being like, burn all the fucking flowers because I'm the only one that's gonna be in this shit now. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. And so he kind of shit on the culture a little bit, but he was trying to, I guess that was his whole thing. He was trying to change the culture. He was trying to change what Wakanda stood for. So he was like, nah, it's me now. But I really like Michael B. Jordan's portrayal. Like, I felt like the swagger that he had and just like everything that he did was just like, it was pretty on point throughout that movie. But yeah, that's why I'm saying like, he's not going to die and then come back and be like, oh, okay, I'll follow Shuri. No, that's not going to happen. So what the point is of bringing him back is he's just going to immediately want to fight Shuri. They're just going to have to kill him again.
I mean, they can also, I mean, I doubt they would do it. I think they're going to say he's dead, but they can also do a thing where they say technically, I don't think they ever really did anything to the body. So they can say he actually lived the ending of Black Panther. And, he's just been waiting for his opportunity or something. Or he could just come back and they can just make him a little sap and he's now like see Shuri as like his like a little sister now eventually. And
I don't think so.
Rob
says once he saw that Wakandan sunrise, he realized the error of his ways and will now fight for Wakanda. He was fighting for Wakanda the whole time.
Yeah, he was.
It was just a different ideal in his mindset.
Different philosophy on what he thinks.
Exactly, philosophy, right.
The way it should be ran.
I wanted Killmonger to win and for Black Panther to die. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he had to be defeated. I don't know if he had to be killed, but he had to be defeated. But yeah, I don't see them bringing him back. I just don't, because it'd be too much to go on. That'd be so much. But they're gonna be fighting Namor and they're gonna be fighting Killmonger at the same time, or Killmonger's now gonna have to fight Namor. I don't, because Killmonger will whoop Namor. I'm sorry. Namor gets his ass handed to him throughout the comics all the time. He's just getting
don't disrespect Namor
out.
Now. Make it seem like
I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying he gets chumped a lot. I went back and started rereading a lot of the early Avenger stuff, and besides the fact that they're always fighting the Hulk, because then it gets kind of boring. They're always fighting Namor too, and Namor just gets chumped, dude, by everybody. It don't matter who's fighting him. He just gets slapped around and like, go back in the water, little bitch. And like, that's it. And if Namor's trying to,
that was the way early comics like that was.
I know.
The villain usually gets clapped in an embarrassing way.
I know. That's why I love the Silver Age comics.
Think about the early Teen Titan comics. How someone as powerful as Trigon was getting whooped by a bunch of children, which never made any sense. It was like, stop this garbage. As powerful as Trigon is, these kids should stand no freaking chance.
Right.
They did rectify that later on, but still.
That's why I love a lot of that, like that Silver Age shit is just so silly and hilarious. So and dude, the amount of times that Hank Pym is just shitting on Jan is just fucking amazing. It's incredible because like the whole time, it doesn't matter what Jan's doing. She's always more worried about how she looks than how she's fighting, which is number one, like just absolutely hilarious misogyny that's kind of slipped into Marvel comics there. And then number two, the way that Hank or Henry or however they want to call him in that time, how he talks to her, basically he does everything but say "shut up, bitch." Like it's just so fucking ridiculous. And then like the one time he did actually compliment her in the first 10 issues that I read, she's like, "I wish you complimented me about my looks instead." And I'm like, "Oh my god." Like, it's so ridiculous.
It is. But hold on. Stop the press. You're not going to do what you've been doing. So enough of this garbage. I'm going to finish what I was going to say earlier. Lee is the same freaking person, all right, who you're sitting there, you're online, and she's in front of you. And you're almost to what you need. Maybe it's a new iPhone, a new PS5. Let's say it's a PS5 or Xbox Series X. You're right online, about to get it. And then she sees some random old friend. And she's like, hey, come here. And they talking. And she's like, oh, stand in front of me. And then they both get the item. And then you go for yours. And it's like, I'm sorry, it's sold out. She's the same person who you have a group meeting together. You're all having some nachos and you got one dip. And she like triple dips with the same damn dip. She's the same person who you're sitting there. She gets her groceries. She buys her stuff. And she just leaves the cart in an inconvenient way. And you just run right into it because of her arrogance.
The shopping cart dilemma.
Person.
So she don't have. What you're saying is that her morals are off center.
She's the same person who takes
all,
up 2 parking
all of
spots.
Those examples.
She's the same person who takes up 2 parking spots to park.
Yeah. Can I add one more? She's the same person who's at the gym walking on the treadmill while talking on her cell phone really loud.
Super loud.
Like real loud. No earbuds or nothing like that. She's like on FaceTime holding it down on speaker too, so you have to hear the other person's part of the conversation as well.
Yes. You're trying to focus? Oh my god.
So so she's supposed to be being introduced into the Black Panther movie, right? So we're supposed to be getting that. But then at the same time, her series is going to be animated. Is that true?
That's
Ironheart,
her too. Her
Disney Plus is supposed to be animated, but we're getting live action. And so is that
weird?
Be the same? Like, are we getting a cross of that? Or I don't know how that's going to work, but that's kind of strange.
And also, she's I couldn't remember. Yeah, it is Black Panther because I was mixing her introduction, either Black Panther or the next Captain Marvel movie. But it's Black Panther. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because I think Captain Marvel is going to bring back Monica. And it's supposed to introduce Rogue as well.
I'm so excited for Rogue. Rogue's one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, I know. You told me that Rogue is one of your favorites. Psylocke is one of your favorites as well. Yeah. So Rogue is supposed to be introduced. People keep forgetting this. Like, it just kind of slips everyone's mind that this Marvel's movie is going to be more about just Carol Danvers. So we're gonna be getting Monica back, which everyone's just kind of tossed to the wayside, that she's still a very, very important part of the MCU in the future. That we're going to be getting Rogue, who is an X-Men, so we are getting mutants. They are going to start to be introduced. We're supposed to be getting some form of Illuminati in the Doctor Strange movie, right? So Charles is supposed to be a part of that, even if it's a different but same kind of Charles. However they're going to explain that, the multiverse version of Charles. So we're getting mutants, we're getting X-Men, and that's, I think, where we're kind of pushing towards the future of the MCU. Fantastic Four and X-Men, and maybe we'll get like a little Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. Maybe that's going to be our next Civil War. Maybe we won't get Civil War per se, but maybe we get a Fantastic Four versus the X-Men.
My problem with that, though, is that the X-Men, like Fantastic Four, gets slaughtered. So I don't think that's really a good idea. Like, that's not even a challenge. Like, the X-Men, like, even the weak MCU version of the X-Men should just bend them over and just destroy.
Do we get Avengers versus X-Men then? Do we get Avengers versus X-Men?
Potatoes is going to be mashed. There's no chance those guys have a chance against the X-Men. The four of them are nowhere near powerful now.
But do we get so instead of a Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, maybe Avengers versus the X-Men and Fantastic Four fight with the Avengers?
That makes more sense. Even though, again, the X-Men still would beat them too. But that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. The X-Men against the Avengers makes a lot more sense. Because keep this in mind too, which people sometimes forget, but if you're an X-Men fan, you understand. X-Men, they don't like the Avengers. Like, straight up. Because Charles said it straight up. He was like, dude, when we always needed help, your ass
you're not there. Exactly.
You're never there.
Never there. And they're part of the problem.
Your butts are doing whatever you're doing, sucking your thumbs while we're dying. Like, screw you guys. Which they're right.
The Avengers are part of the problem of not only not helping the X-Men, but whenever the X-Men slip up, they're like first to be like, oh, well, we need to regulate this. We need to, make sure that either, the responsible parties go to jail or whatever the Avengers jail is, or make sure that this doesn't happen again, call them out in the media, blah, blah, blah. But, the Avengers slip up all the time. So it's like, I think because we know the X-Men was in the beginning a perfect allegory, and I'm sure it's still carried throughout the perfect allegory of racism in our time and in our country. And so it's almost like it's still playing that out of the X-Men versus the police, which is the Avengers. They almost have that type of relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I will say though, a lot. I was talking heavily back in the day, especially. It's so crazy to think about this. It's so crazy to think it's been this long, but I remember when you were still here and we was working together, we was talking about the X-Men getting their little planet that brings people back in the planet. Their island, Krakoa, that brings people back to life or whatever. We was talking about that. And I'm just like, damn, that much time has passed. It's been that damn long since they introduced this thing. But and I said back then that it was going to be a problem, and I feel it's definitely become a problem because it's just so reliant. Like, damn near every story ends with somebody dying and then being brought back. And then the whole gimmick is, well, they died before they got a chance to, you got to get the information before they died because they're going to be brought back right before what happened killed them. So, like, a memory that was saved. And it's like the same damn story over and over. And I'm starting to get sick of that crap. Because I think the X-Men was doing really good, but I said it. This whole thing of making death not nothing is going to hurt them. And God, it has. Because the stories are like the same, dude. It's always the same shit. Like, they did have an epic thing where Magneto and Charles teamed up and fought against, damn, I forgot my man's name. But they had an epic battle against, God, I'm gonna remember the name like 5 minutes from now. But anyway, they had a cool battle, and Magneto went out like a G or whatever. But the whole thing was he was brought back and didn't remember what he needed to remember completely. And same for Charles. And I was just like, this is the same fucking story. I just read like 6. Like, honestly, the last 10 stories been the fucking same. Like, it's just I'm getting sick of that.
That's what the newer X-Men titles. That's what's going on. Because I've stayed away from
about Krakoa bringing people back. The whole thing has been it's become a lot more politics.
Juggernaut?
A lot of politics.
Was it Jugs that they were fighting? Was it Nimrod?
Nimrod, that's who it was. It was Nimrod.
There you go. Thank you, Swing Through Comics. Appreciate that. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I actually was in a local comic shop. It was actually probably with Ian. Ian and I went. Oh, there you go. Powers and House of X was fire. Ian liked Powers of X and House of X. That was a while ago though that those stories came out. I feel like it's been a couple years now since Powers of X and House of X.
Like I said, the problem is the stories are basically the same stuff. It's always the same thing of like information needs to get told before the person dies, but the person's gonna eventually die, and then the person dies, and then some of the information is not told, and then the information comes back later on, but then you need to save it again, and then this person dies who has it. It's the same fucking shit. And I'm just like, oh, come on, guys. Come on. It is starting to get a little annoying. And I love the X-Men, but it is starting to get a little annoying when I'm just like, okay, can we please get something new? Can we get away from this Coca-Cola crap for a little while? Because this is starting to get really, really dumb.
Where do you think they should take X-Men stories towards?
Honestly, they need to bring where death means something again, because this is just getting ridiculous. Where death means absolutely nothing. Because as soon as they die, it's going to be brought right back. And the whole thing is like, well, they don't have the exact same memory they had before, but it's like, eventually they're going to get it right back and they're going to die again. That's been our stories the last, feels like the last 2 years now. So
you know what it should be? They should have start writing it in where it's like actually starting to affect them and changing them.
I think they're going to get to a point where they're going to because it's looking like the planet, I keep saying planet, the island is getting to a point where it's like eventually it's going to kick them off. And only one person is only really one of the X-Men is really bonded with the island. That's the dude who can talk to anything or whatever, communicate with anything. So I can see them getting to a point where eventually they're going to get kicked off the island, but then that's going to really drive a wedge because the island has been what's protecting them too from a lot of the outside of the the United States and all the other countries and stuff. So I can see once they lose the island, a whole new war becoming happening. I can see that happening too.
Okay,
but they're also setting up that when they eventually lose the island, because the main thing of the stories. The main thing all of them connect to is that eventually a war is going to happen that's going to wipe out the X-Men and all mutants eventually.
War against who?
Will always lose. And they will, no matter what happens, they always lose.
War against who?
They're going to get wiped out, and then something's going to happen that leads to them, somebody either going back in time or some crap has to happen. But every single outcome ends with them losing.
Days of Future Past, but it really happening and the world comes to an end. Some idea that I had. If they try to redo Days of Future Past, who are they gearing up to fight? Who is going to be what would bring the end of the X-Men?
So it's what usually happens is basically robots and androids to a degree always takes over, and it's either a combination of human and robots fusing together and becoming a being that wipes them out, or androids in general just wipe, similar to Nimrod.
The Terminator
wipes them out.
The Terminator is taking out the X-Men. It's gonna be the X-Men versus the Terminator story. I love it.
It's gonna be old girl from Terminator. I think she was in Terminator 2, right? The liquid one.
The cyborgs are gonna come take them out. Yeah, yeah, the liquid girl. T2 was the bomb, though.
She was sick, bro.
There are very few movies where the second one holds up, right? As much as the first, and then, but every single time that the second one holds up, the third one is the most absolute trash. I can name a few examples. Godfather 1, 2 is renowned, and then 3 is the most trash, right? X-Men, the first X-Men trilogy. X-Men 1, good. X-Men 2, fantastic. X-Men 3, absolute trash.
That's one of them all. X-Men 3, straight garbage. Woo, that was hot garbage.
I mean, there's a lot of that like that. Maybe not the Matrix, but what was the? I'm trying to think if there's another one that just popped in my head. But yeah, could get to Terminator. We were just talking about Terminator 1, good. Terminator 2, amazing. Terminator 3. So yeah, maybe we get X-Men Terminator crossover. I think that'd be fantastic.
My God. Okay, I gotta bring this up real quick because you reminded me of it, and I'm a real dude. So
yep.
Okay, so I was watching
the realest X-Men. Dude ever wearing a Santa costume. Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, don't get Superman punched out here. Tribal chief don't mess. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you praise your Black Santa. So Cyclops, all right. I was watching the animated series, and I was watching the episode with Iceman, and God dang it, Cyclops! This dude came across as the biggest dick ever. Like,
bro,
he was.
What have I been saying?
So Iceman was doing. He was attacking the area, and they didn't know what was really going on. So Wolverine was like, who's Iceman? Because he just joined the team, or whatever. And he's like, who's Iceman? And they was like, well, he used to be he was one of the original members. And Cyclops was a dick the whole time. Like, he's immature. He's garbage. He's a former X-Men. Don't disrespect us by saying he's an X-Men. Like, he was just going ham. I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, even Beast was like, dude, relax. It's not that the kid was just someone who did mischievous thing. No. You're always making excuses for him. And then Charles was like, he's not that bad of a kid. See, Charles, that's why you're always making excuses for him too. And why he's a screw up. I'm like, dude, Cyclops, shut up.
Yo, but that is so comic accurate because Cyclops is the biggest dick in the comics, bro. I'm saying, dude.
It makes it so hard to defend him because it's true.
Silver Age Cyclops, dick. And it's like, all right, and then they form the new team with Claremont on the thing, and then we get Bronze Age X-Men, right? And we get Bronze Age Cyclops, who's the only one that really remains to the new team. And so he's like the leader of the team besides Charles. And so he's the worst leader in the history of leaders of anything. I don't care. I could swear to God, I have worked for people that are terrible, and I would still rather work for them than work for Cyclops, because Cyclops is the biggest piece of shit that I have ever read about, watched, anything like that.
That is cap. He is not the biggest piece of shit you've ever read about. Now you know that's cap.
How are you going to lead a team and talk shit about your team behind their back and to their face? You're supposed to be leading this team to greatness, you're sitting there telling them that they are horrible pieces of shit that you wouldn't wipe off your shoe.
Bringing up, they don't measure up to the old team.
They don't measure up, right? And it's like, you hated your old team, and now you hate this team, and you're saying this team don't measure up to the old team. And it's like, what? Why do you even have a team? Just get off the team and be yourself. Nobody's gonna read the Cyclops comic. Ain't nobody gonna read that shit. We're reading the X-Men. So shut the fuck up and be a part of the X-Men, because ain't nobody care about your one-eyed having ass.
Ooh. Damn.
That's how I feel about Cyclops, in case y'all didn't know. But
I will say, I still think you capping. You know deep down he ain't the worst person you've ever read. Because if he is, then my dude, we got to discuss something.
That's supposed to be a hero. The worst hero.
Okay.
All right, because there are obviously villains. Admit,
I loved when Storm whooped his ass and tucked the team.
Yeah.
Because she beat him 100%. Straight up without relying on her powers. And I was just like, yep. Yeah.
As she should. Cyclops is a chum. And honestly, he ain't he's powerful, but he ain't that powerful.
Yeah, when I found out, when I was younger, I was like, oh, optic blast, all this stuff is so cool. But when I actually found out it's more of a concussion blast than incineration, I was like, oh, that's lame as shit.
So his power.
Yeah, it's powerful.
He's one of the weakest on the team.
It's not as powerful as it should be.
He's one of the weakest on the team. If not the weakest on the team.
He's just,
so how is he the manager of the team?
And I know the question is, but I know, again, it's the leadership thing that you don't like, but that is his main thing of him being a leader. But outside of that,
just said no more Cyclops.
Okay, come on now. Stop it. I done turned this into the Cyclops hating club. Now I got too many people at me. But look, man, Cyclops, again, he does have the leadership stuff, and he's had some great moments in comics as a leader, and in the animated series too. The problem is his dick moments are fucking terrible, and it's like, what the hell?
He's not a better leader than Cap. So
no. That's literally why I said Cap a little bit earlier when I was saying the two, because Cap is just he is the embodiment of what a leader is. Yes, you can make an argument he's the weakest member of the Avengers. I mean, not counting trash like Hawkeye. But he's like the weakest member. Yeah, he's better than Black Widow or whatever. But that's still like Black Widow's still useful and she's still amazing. But it's his leadership that brings him to be the guy where you're just like, even when everybody's down and it's him looking in the face of somebody like Galactus, you still have hope that Captain America's still standing.
Right.
You don't have that hope, no offense, with Cyclops at times, because it's just like,
you ain't gonna offend me.
Spending. Oh, we're doomed. Storm, please get back up, please. Like, we're doomed, bro.
Thanos' snap should have destroyed half of Cyclops. I love it. There's another one that says Cyclops had no idea what to do when a real man like Logan took a liking to Jean. Thanos should have wiped out Cyclops. Oh my gosh, it's too funny. But it's so like, I don't know. It's just like, as far as a leader goes, he's not an overall great leader. And he's not an overall great member of the X-Men. And so
he has moments where he is an overall great leader, and he has moments where he is a great X-Men too. It's just the problem is, one, the movies did him beyond dirty. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm not even worried about the movies.
I know. I'm just saying. But here's the thing, though. The movies is where a lot of people see stuff, and the movies made him come across as one of the weakest and useless people on the team. Like, he has no moments in any of the movies, and then a lot of people see that. And they look at that and say, oh, well, Cyclops is nothing. But if you read a lot of the comics of the X-Men and you look at a lot of stuff that he's done, no, Cyclops has moments. He has some stuff where he does some cool stuff too. It's just, dude, when he goes ham on his team, he goes too far, man.
He really does. Cyclops couldn't lead the Blob to a ham sandwich.
Okay, you stop that. First off, the Blob was Cyclops to get that sandwich.
I think that if he had been written right in a way where he didn't constantly berate and humiliate his team. And here's the thing,
he didn't do that all the time. That was in that Pacific era. He didn't do that all the time now. That's the thing too. They made him so much of a dick there that certain, like, definitely people, like fans, like people like you, who's not like an X-Men guy, you just see that and you're like, oh, piece of shit. But if you actually continue to read through and read other stuff, he's not like that all the time. It's just they make sure
he's from the 60s to the 80s.
Right.
He was written. I mean, and that was a very defining time for his character, obviously. Yes. Now, I will admit, I have not read as much as far as 90s and forward.
Because even Cyclops, right now, Cyclops has some killer moments on, like, some good leadership moments where even he was like, no, I'm going in there to save my team. And Charles was like, I don't want you to go in there because if you go in there, you're going to die. And he was like, I don't care. I'm going to save them.
So now he has definitely always had that mentality where he will do anything to say. I can't put anything past him as far as that goes. He will always do whatever it takes to save a member of his team. He's always done that. He has never been the Doctor Strange to, oh, I'm just going to leave you to die. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, speaking of Doctor Strange, thought popped into my head the other day, and I was like, I need to talk about this with Chris. But I'll get back to that. So so Cyclops has 100% always been the man to go in to rescue. Doesn't matter who it is on his team, he'll put his life on the line for it. I can't take that away from
and
Cyclops.
That is a great leadership quality.
Yes, and he would be great and a lot better, and I wouldn't shit on him so much if he wasn't always just being like, after he saved said person, right, he then be like, oh, you're a piece of shit for being in there in the first place. Because that's what he does. He's like, why the fuck were you in there, you piece of shit? You couldn't get yourself out of that situation.
Now I had to go in there. I need to make sure I get you some good Cyclops material where he's just not an asshole.
Right. And then what I was going to go back on, Doctor Strange fought Thanos one-on-one in Infinity War. One-on-one battle against Thanos. Thanos had
I know where this is going.
Multiple stones in his possession, and Doctor Strange hid his own stone so it wasn't being used.
Does whatever Spider-Man does.
Held his own against Thanos with Infinity Stones.
Right.
And then got his ass whooped in 5 minutes by Peter Parker. What the fuck are we supposed to say about this? I I don't know.
No, I'm 100% with you. And me and you said when we talked about the review, obviously he wasn't he wasn't trying to kill Peter, but still, it should have been one of those moments where
it wasn't trying to. You don't have to try to kill Peter to fucking.
That's what I'm
up
saying.
A little bit.
It should have been one of those moments where he just completely shitted on him. Where it was one of those things where Peter had no chance at all of even coming close to measuring up to him.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
No. Dude, like you guys already know my feelings, or both of our feelings about the No Way Home movie, but just like going back and just thinking about it and like rewatching, because that's what I've been doing the last couple weeks while I'm like packing orders and stuff. It's been rewatching the MCU up to this point, and just rewatching Infinity War, and just like that battle, which was pretty epic. I mean, it was shorter, but it was still a pretty solid, couple minutes of one-on-one time.
Right.
And then I was just furious. I was so mad again. I was like, this is amazing. Doctor Strange is holding his own, no stone against Thanos, multiple stones, and
he did better than the Hulk.
Hulk did better than he did better than everyone except for Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel. He did better than anyone except for those two characters. And I know how we both feel about Captain Marvel, but better than everyone else. You know what I mean? And so you're telling me
maybe you could say Thor, because even he said you should have went for the head.
Oh yeah, well of course.
So you could definitely throw Thor.
So those three,
Thor
right? So
arguably
so Thor,
killed him.
Captain Marvel, and Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
And then Doctor Strange is the fourth best.
Yeah.
And even Captain America was able to hold the gauntlet up for a minute there.
Right.
But like, God, it's they chummed him out so bad in that movie. It's just like, oh, I could beat you with geometry. What? Peter's out here using the quadratic formula to beat Doctor Strange. Like, what the fuck is going on? I don't. Oh my God.
It is terrible. Again, I know you should never really do it, but it's hard being comic guys like we are. And I'm always going to compare it. I know you shouldn't, but I'm always going to compare certain things to the comics. And it's like thinking about how this is supposed to be early Strange and how Doctor Strange early on was one of the most OP things ever. And then to see him like have his outing against Spider-Man, it's like, oh, really?
I know it. It's like Doctor Strange's one weakness, the Pythagorean theorem. Like, what in the world? This is the most stupid shit. Rob says Cyclops should have ran out to the bomb testing site to save Bruce Banner from the gamma bomb and died a slow radiation poisoning death over the next 5 years. Speaking of Bruce Banner and gamma, do you think we're going to get a Rick Jones? I'm Rick Jones, bitch. What if he came into the MCU? What if he came into the MCU and just did that line and then just fucking left?
If I'm in the theater, I would stand up.
Just salute. I'm Rick Jones.
And I would have everybody in there clapping with me.
Dave Chappelle sues Marvel immediately. Do you honestly though? Because I was thinking about the Hulk since I've been reading a little bit more of the older Hulk, and I also came to the thing if they do go with like a World War Hulk, because remember we were saying who is he gonna pine after, or like what could he lose? We forgot about Betty Ross. We kind of forgot that whole thing happened. So he does sort of have a love interest that could potentially be out there. So we could still have that go down as well between Banner and Ross.
Oh no, fam. I didn't forget about Betty Ross.
I forgot about her.
You forgot about Betty Ross.
MCU for sure. I forgot about Betty Ross until recently, and I was like, oh yeah, because I was trying to. I was thinking like, what the fuck would he be so mad over? Like, who would he lose that would be so important? I'm like, oh, if maybe they established that relationship, that would. But see,
the problem is what made it epic. If you have Betty Ross just die on Earth, like he needs to leave. He needs to leave Earth. Because remember, that's one of the things that fueled everything.
He needs to be a king, basically.
Right. So he needs to leave. So she wouldn't really play any role because you're not putting both of them together to leave. So he needs to leave and he needs to have a new love interest. Now you can make her become a role and it's cheesy, but still, you can make her be one of the reasons why he eventually calms down. that sets up something. Now I'm fine with that, but he has to leave because that's one of the things that angered him. That's one of the things that led to it too. Him being cast away also led to a lot of anger as well, and that was all building up. And then when he lost all his love, his child, unborn child, and his, some of his friends, he was beyond pissed. Like that all built up, and then this happened, and it was game over. So you have to, and then the epic, one of the most epic things about that comic is the anticipation for him coming back, and them knowing,
that he's on the way. Oh, he's on the way.
Shit, we need to prepare.
Made a little pit stop on the moon.
Figure out what we can do. Like that's epic, and you can play that great in a theater aspect. You know, live action, not there, the live action aspect. So, but I agree with you. You should have her play a role, like, towards the end of, like, she being the one to come eventually.
Rob says he thinks we will get a Rick Jones to set up an eventual future imperfect Hulk movie since they screwed up Planet Hulk and Thor Ragnarok. What other Hulk storyline is movie worthy? Oh, okay. That's a great question. What other Hulk storyline is movie worthy?
The problem is, though, we have to get the MCU to actually finally say, because remember, they said, according to them, the last thing I've heard about this, we're never doing a Hulk movie again.
They said
out
that
of their own mouths. This was from them saying they're not going to. That's why they kept saying he's only going to show up in other people's stuff.
Right.
That's them saying that. That's not like rumored. That's out of their own mouths.
Right. Out of Feige's mouth.
Until they change it and say, all right, we're going to do a Hulk movie.
But recently, that's what they have been saying, is that they're trying to work on a Hulk project. But the problem is that Hulk is licensed to Universal. So it's the same kind of thing where Spider-Man's licensed to Sony, and they've got that whole universe building. It's like, are we going to build now a Hulk universe with Universal and have that whole thing? So it's like, honestly, it makes sense for them to work together, and everyone gets a piece of the damn pie. There's enough money going around when movies are making $1 billion within a week. Like, goddamn, just chill the fuck out.
When you say Hulk project, that doesn't mean a movie.
Right. Well, not necessarily, right?
Yeah. That's my biggest issue. They've never said we're working on a Hulk movie. A Hulk project could be some Netflix thing, or just, you know what I mean? Something like that. It could be like a little series where he's there for like 5 episodes.
What would you like to see as far as a Hulk storyline? If you know, obviously we fucked up Planet Hulk. World War Hulk is like how are we going to do that without Planet Hulk? So what would another Hulk storyline be that you would want to see? Honestly, Gray Hulk versus Rick Jones Hulk, that would be pretty dope if they're really going to do something like that. But I mean, I just started like thinking about it. Like, I don't know, are we going to get Wolverine through Hulk? That's how Wolverine came in through the comics. Are we going to get that story, a little bit of a storyline there? Do we get I don't know, Wendigo? Wendigo came in through Hulk. A lot of characters came in through Hulk. Hulk is like not as appreciated as a comic book, but we got like Rocket Raccoon, we got fucking Quasar, we got Wolverine, we got Wendigo. I mean, we got so many dope characters.
Dude, the Hulk has so many freaking stories. So many stories. But only like 2 or 3 of them anybody really cares about.
Right, that pop off the head as being like super relevant or that carry the test of time, I guess. Because a lot of it is just the Hulk being like, I'm the Hulk, and
it's smash.
Yeah, here I am. And then the Avengers are like, you need to stop. And so he's like, I'm gonna fight the Avengers. Really, this again? You know what I mean? Like we're just gonna fight heroes again. So yeah, unfortunately that's how they used him so much, which was why it was so dope to get the Planet Hulk, World War Hulk storyline. And then it was so dope to get, even more recently, if we want to talk about the Immortal Hulk storyline, it was so different.
Until it went on way too damn long.
Until it went fucking stupid. But in the beginning, it was just
and dumbest and stupidest endings ever.
Right. But in the beginning, having like a Hulk horror type vibe and feel, that was different.
It was really cool.
And something like, new, fresh, and just kind of leading into it. I thought that was really dope.
So that could be a very good one to do. You have to change the ending because the ending is so stupid and confusing that you don't want that to be the ending for the MCU. So you could change the ending, and that could be a very interesting movie.
Okay.
If you keep it more of the beginning.
Right.
That could be interesting.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even in the MCU, Hulk has all but come out and said that he's immortal. Like he said, he can't die. You know what I mean? So he said a few times, I've tried to put a bullet in my mouth.
And he just spit it out.
Yeah, right. And the other guy spit it out, and he's like, out of all of you here, I'm the one who could probably handle the Infinity Gauntlet. He's done that. So like,
he got put to sleep by Thanos.
Look, we're not talking about how
you know, you do all that talking and stuff, and then Thanos put my man to sleep in like a few seconds. It was like,
yeah, bro, that's like when you talking dirty on text message. You like talking all this shit that you're gonna do to the girl, like hyping it up, and then you last 5 minutes. That's what the MCU did with the Hulk, bro.
You know, are you talking from experience, brother?
Yes.
All right.
5 minutes in heaven is better than 3 minutes in heaven.
No, like you told her, bro. 13 seconds is enough, bro.
Look, if Patrick Mahomes got it done in 13 seconds, I'm just saying.
That's right. You should be amazed that it was 5 minutes. You tell
her. Oh shit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As I would love to see Rick Jones come in. I would love to. I mean, he was his best friend. I mean, it's really funny to watch Rick Jones piggyback ride the Hulk, like literally just climb on the back of the Hulk and get hopped around in the comics books. I thought that was really funny to revisit because I forgot that shit happened. And he's really the only one that can get through to the Hulk as well. Right. He's the one that calms him down and sticks up for him the most, and is basically like, you need to chill. Or even when he reverts back to Banner, he's like, hey man, you know, are you good? You know, we got to keep an eye on you and everything like that. So yeah, I would like to see Rick Jones come into the MCU.
Man, I gotta admit, just thinking about it, I could make an argument that honestly, if they did it right, the Hulk versus Sentry would probably be the best MCU fight ever.
You think they would bring in the Sentry?
No, I'm just thinking about how great he was, like in World War Hulk, and just imagine that fight in the MCU. It would be the best one they've ever done.
Would need like actual vicious Hulk again, though. We get Banner, like we're back to Banner, right? The what they call the smart Hulk.
I'm assuming we're gonna get him in.
Professor Hulk is gone, right? But we still have Banner. I think Hulk is supposed to show up in She-Hulk.
Yeah, I'm very sure we'll see him.
I am not looking forward to that shit at all.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
I really don't. I mean, they're talking about having musical numbers now in She-Hulk. I don't know what that's
James. I don't have to say probably now.
Thanks, I don't know what that's about. But that's allegedly that has been tossed around that they're gonna have musical numbers in She-Hulk.
I'm not a fan of musicals, so cool.
I just don't. What are we gonna get? Like Steve Rogers, the musical part 2 in She-Hulk now? Like, is that really what's gonna happen?
Starts off with that song.
Oh my god, dude, it was very cringe. There's been a lot of cringe-worthy moments, right, in the last 15 years of the MCU, and that was probably number 1. It had to be. Like I like you know, a Broadway musical just as much as the next person who doesn't like a Broadway musical, but to put it in
but yeah, cool.
I mean, there's a time and a place to watch singing and dancing, and it's not in She-Hulk.
I got 2 more for you real quick. Just 2 more.
Okay, go ahead.
Riri is the type of person who would tell you she got you a perfect surprise Christmas present, knowing damn well you don't like musicals. And next thing you know, you walking in to a Shakespeare musical. Riri is the kind of person
Shakespeare musical.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be worse. Like, you already don't like musicals, and you gotta watch a Shakespeare musical? How boring is that gonna be? Riri is the kind of person.
First of all, I feel like you just disrespected Shakespeare. I feel like you just disrespected Shakespeare there.
Wait a minute. Riri is the kind of person who will be drinking her water, and then something funny happens, and she has a whole nother place to spit, but yeah, she's still turning your face and spitting.
What?
I finished.
What? What? All right, let's go back to Shakespeare for a second here. I feel like you just disrespected a legend.
I'm sorry. The legend of Shakespeare I disrespected, huh?
You just said a musical would make Shakespeare even more boring. Like Shakespeare was boring to begin with. Let me tell you something, sir.
I mean, bruh.
Let me tell you something, sir.
Tell me something.
Shakespeare, whether or not you believe the conspiracy that it was written by multiple people or whatever it was still ahead of its time as far as storytelling and lust and love and murder and all sorts of other shit going on. All right, so I just want to put that out there.
Oh, so you would go to a Shakespeare musical?
I would not go to a musical of Shakespeare.
I did.
I would go see Shakespeare in play format though. Yes. Yeah, I would. Okay. Just saying. But yeah, I'm with you on the Riri, and I'm with you on the musical part aspect of She-Hulk. I don't know how they're gonna I don't know. It's a damn, she's just a kid, Santa. She really is, though. She is. Here's the thing about her just being a kid, though, is the way that they draw her on some of these covers.
It's so disturbing.
It's like, okay,
because she is a kid, and they
draw
do the
her same shit to what's her face, America Chavez.
Is so sexualized, and I'm like, guys, she's
Bro, they do the same thing with America Chavez, though. They do the same shit with America Chavez, like her America number 7. Her origin issue is her with some cut off jean shorts, like turned around on the cover, kind of like looking back over her shoulder, like she's taking a mirror selfie. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, this chick's supposed to be like 15, 16. What are we doing here?
I'm saying it's so creepy, dude. It's like, bro, that's some creepy shit.
Yeah, like, I am looking forward to America Chavez though coming in.
You said what?
I said I am looking forward to America Chavez though.
Oh yeah,
with the MCU or Multiverse of Madness. MOM.
Yeah, same here.
Mom. Yeah. Doctor Strange and the mom.
The psycho mom who is going to go psycho. That makes it even crazier. You already know. I mean, that makes it even scarier. You already know she's crazy, and then it's like it's not a matter of if, it's when. When is she gonna go?
Went back and rewatched WandaVision while I was doing like a packing day because it was just I forgot how quick you could just.
They still should have introduced Charles.
Yes, they should have introduced Charles. Yes, they should have brought Doctor Strange in. And going back, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it just because, just because we weren't crazy, dude. That whole fucking thing was a setup for Mephisto. And like going back and rewatching it, I was sitting there like, I'm not gonna think Mephisto. There were multiple moments where I was like, you know what? We weren't crazy for thinking Mephisto most of that time. Because like going back and rewatching, I was like, God damn, like that was pretty much as blatant as you possibly could have been with some of this shit. But anyways, going back and rewatching her anger and her grief and her loss again, and I'm just like kind of refreshing. I'm like, this is gonna be interesting for this Doctor Strange movie. Because if she goes back to unleashing a lot of that or turning into like the Dark Wanda or digging into the Darkhold, and bringing out that power that she has now learned that she can actually like do spells type of thing or this whole other side of magic that Agatha Harkness. I got British authors on the brain now. Agatha Harkness.
Shakespeare.
The Shakespeare shit. Agatha Harkness has introduced her to. She's gonna. I think it's gonna be like what we said. She's going to be so fucking powerful that the only way to really stop her is going to be to kill her. I don't really think. I mean, other than bringing Charles, if you introduce a super OP Charles that could bring her down, maybe. But like, I don't know. I think it's going to be like such an immense amount of power. The only solution is going to be to kill her.
I agree because it's so funny though that Charles Xavier. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He's never been classified as an Omega level, which is disturbingly weird. Because he had some insane feats. I mean, some insane feats.
No, for sure.
Like, he's not classified as an Omega level?
Right.
And I'm thinking in my head of all the Omega level lists that I've seen, and I've never seen Charles on any of them. I don't think he's ever actually been classified as one, which is disturbing. Because again, his feats are insane.
But he was Professor Charles Xavier was an alpha level mutant, an Omega class telepath. And he was said to have the most powerful brain in existence, to be the world's greatest telepath, and to have vast psionic powers. So alpha level mutant.
Yeah, he was never classified as Omega level. Like Magneto's classified as one.
Right.
But Charles isn't. And Omega level is the highest, like that's what you want to be classified as. So I'm like, that's weird to me.
That is weird.
Definitely some of the OP crap he did in the past.
Yeah, there's actually like quite a few discussions about
planets to galaxies and shutting Jean's powers off to make her be able to control them. And he did some crazy stuff I can go on.
Oh, yeah.
I loved. And I was just sitting there and like when you was talking, I was like, damn, how the hell he ain't classified as one? That's just weird to me.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, there's quite a few. I just typed in is he Omega level, but there are quite a few discussion threads about why he should be or should not be Omega level. So yeah, some debates going on for sure. But yeah, that's we are creeping on that 2-hour mark. So we should calm it down here. But we appreciate everyone who's hanging out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. We appreciate you. Smash it. And we will be back next week to talk more shenanigans, just everything we can about.
I just want to say one last little thing. I want to apologize, man. I want to get some more videos on the channel. It's just work has been beyond terrible, but it will be happening.
I thought it was going to be another Riri thing.
No. That'll be next week.
You're gonna sit there and write like some new jokes about Riri for next week.
Bruh, I don't have to write them. I got like 10 in my head right now, and I'm not even playing.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. Again, hit that like button. Stay villainous and